نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ولي الصالحين وأشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. اللهم إنا نسألك فوزا عظيما. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلال وكل ضلالة في النار أعاذني الله منها وإياكم. أما بعد، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, as we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us and He brought us on this earth, and He also sent some employees from the angels who are documenting and recording and writing what we are doing in this world. As we know that the challenge that we face in this world, the weather, the situation, the conditions, the disease, any catastrophe that is happening. In my khutbah today, I would like to talk about choosing al-akhirah over the dunya. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us. Why? He already created in our hearts that we love the dunya, that we love this world. We want to acquire wealth. We want to have, a lot of, properties. We want to gain some kingship on, worldly, properties. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created that into our hearts, now He is requesting us to hate the dunya. Why? Because وَلَا الْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى. The akhirah is better for you than the dunya. Why? Because you came to dunya, you came to this world with nothing. Which means we came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala having nothing. We also know that we're going back to Him with nothing. But with that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us that we will gain some, reward in the akhirah. That's why He sent Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And He gave examples through the Sahaba to us that we will be following the footsteps of all the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us an example about the dunya, this world. He said, إِنَّمَا مَثَلُ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا كَمَاءٍ أَنزَلْنَاهُ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ. The example of this world is like a water coming from the heaven, from the sama. And the water irrigated the farm, and the crops will grow, and the people start harvesting it. And they keep doing that. That's because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, created into their heart that they want to live in this world. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَظَنَّ أَهْلُهَا أَنَّهُمْ قَادِرُونَ عَلَيْهَا أَتَاهَا أَمْرُنَا لَيْلًا وَنَهَارًا. Just an example. The people are ready, they want to harvest. The next day, all the crops is gone. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroyed it. What are they going to take with them to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Nothing. So the better thing is, the best thing is, وَالْبَاقِيَاتُ الصَّالِحَاتُ خَيْرٌ عِنْدَ رَبِّكَ ثَوَابًا وَخَيْرٌ عَمَلًا. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to learn. Whatever you do for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by worshiping Him, by obeying His commandments, by remembering Him, that's what you're going to take with you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the best reward in the eyes of Allah Jalla Jalal. We know Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gave us so many examples. One of the examples is Allah has told him that I will make the mount of the gold for you, that you can be the richest of human beings on the earth. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, he chose akhirah. Why? Because the most beloved people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the people who are going to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without, accumulating the world and causing mischief. Because whenever you gain some wealth, in another way, Shaitan will come to you and he's going to drive you to do something wrong, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not pleased with it. So we looked into hadith where Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and this is the nature of human beings. We know that some of the Sahabas, they heard the words far beyond, beyond imagination. But with that nature, they still have some, limits of understanding of this world. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, the hadith was narrated عن عمرو ibn Auf al-Ansari radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. He said, بعث رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أبا عبيد بن جراح رضي الله تعالى عنه إلى البحرين. That's when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was a leader in this world. Because the people of Bahrain, he sent Abu Ubaidah to bring, wealth from them. Because at the time they have to pay jizya. The people who do not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they had a condition to live under Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that they will pay jizya. Which is not the zakah, it's something that they have to contribute to the society. And he came in the morning. And the Sahaba, when he got the property from Bahrain and he came to Medina, the Sahaba heard about this. And that Fajr, all the Sahaba gathered in the morning, the prayer. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam saw this. He says, أظنكم سمعتم أن أبا عبيدة قد قدم من بحرين. I think that you all heard that about Abu Ubaidah came from Bahrain with wealth. They said, yes, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He said, فوالله الذي ما فقر أخشى عليكم ولكن أخشى أن تبسط عليكم الدنيا كما بسطت على من كان من قبلكم. I'm not afraid that you will be poor in this world, but what I'm afraid is that Allah will open for you the world and will make you rich. You will get a lot of wealth, and then you will start competing each other. I want to beat him. I want to be have more money, and then something like that. But we need to know one thing there. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, "Man ja'ala hammahu hamma ad-dunya, wa lam ya'ti min ad-dunya illa ma kutiba lahu." That if you make your desire, your feeling, and your intention just to accumulate this world, you will not gain except what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written for you. So your akhirah is better than your dunya, because the akhirah life is endless. Whenever you be in that position with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Jannah, your life is going to be forever and your wealth is not going to be finished. But whatever you get in this world, you're going to live in this world, and it's not coming with you. What is going with you is your amal and your action. Know that if you try to work harder, to make, accumulate this world, you're not going to get more than what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done for you. For example, from the day we were born, the day we departed from this world, if Allah has written for you $2 million to make in your entire life, you will make that much money. You're not going to make more than that. If Allah has, destined that you will make only $5 million from the day you were born, the day you departed, you will make that much money. With that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, no matter whatever you do, make sure you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, come back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, have a connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, establish a salah, do good deeds. That's what's coming with you in the day of judgment. Because whatever you try and work harder, it's still you're going to get it, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made them for you. He says, in this world, it's beautiful, and as we see, it's green, but there's so many hardships, so many disasters, so many catastrophes happening. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to choose al-akhirah and the dunya. So in the last Friday, we didn't come to the masjid. Why? Because of the weather, because of the condition. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us. This dunya is useless according to, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because there are so many difficult situations happening that we will not be able even to make our world in life. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us an example by saying, do not be فَخَلَقَ مِنْ بَعْدٍ خَلْفٌ أَضَاعُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَاتَّبَعُوا الشَّهَوَاتِ فَسَوْفَ يَلْقَوْنَ غَيًّا. Every situation that we feel, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put it in the day of judgment. If we feel cold, it's in the hellfire. If we feel hot, it's in the hellfire. If we feel good weather, it's in the Jannah. Everything that we're going to face is in the day of judgment. Now you have a choice where you want to be. And as you see and you feel the experience, what's happening now? He says, there are generations come after the company, after the prophet, starting from Ibrahim and all the rest. And there's also a generation after Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They left Islam. They stopped praying. They stopped worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he says, فَسَوْفَ يَلْقَوْنَ غَيًّا. The scholar explains this. Al-Ghayy means the coldest, extreme cold place in the hellfire. Nobody can endure it. Nobody can live within a second. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never make the person to die, because He wants them to experience. And the other place is, He says, ساهون الذين عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين يراؤون ويمنعون الماعون. And the other people are the ones who are lazy coming to the praying the salah. The one who worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they lazy of worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ. And these people, they're going to be in the hellfire. That's very hard. It's a boiling water. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us all the examples. As Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that when it is winter, when it is very cold, this is the breeze coming from the hellfire. And when it is hot, it is also coming from the hellfire. So make sure that you understand this. So if this is coming from that distance, we don't know how far the hellfire from us, but we know that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gives us an example. It could take like 70 years or more than that to be there. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has cut with the earth, with Qarun la'natullahi alayhi, and he's still going to the hellfire. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says he will be in the bottom in the day of judgment. That's how far the hellfire from us. And that cold is coming from the hellfire that we experience in this world. What would be for the person who is put in there, who will enter the hellfire? So the goal is, as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Kun fi dunya ka'annaka gharibun aw 'abir as-sabil." Be in this world like someone who's traveling. A traveler, we know that he only takes you, thing with him, food or whatever he needs on his way, and he rests in a city or place, and he leaves from there. And be like this on this dunya. When Nuh alayhi salatu salam was asked that he lived 950 years. He is the longest person lived on this earth after Adam alayhi salatu salam and our mother Hawa alayhi salatu salam. He was asked, how was your experience by living this long in this world? By going for difficulties, good life, whatever. He said, this world to me is like, this is almost his time now to depart from this world. It's like I enter from one door and exit to the other door. That's how short it is. And we already see that. The longer you live, the shorter the day is going to come. That means every day we are getting close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in the hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, لا تركن إلى الدنيا ولا تتخذ وطنا. Do not make your dunya, it's like you're going to live here forever. And then, ولا تحدث نفسك بطول البقاء فيها. And do not tell yourself that you're going to live here or stay here forever. ولا تتعلق إلا بما يتعلق الغريب في غير وطنه. Just make sure that you only make or acquire something that you're going to take with you and is going to benefit you in the hereafter. Why? Because the traveler, he will only make this, his flight is only short. He doesn't prolong where he's going to stay. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gives us so many examples. One day, him and the Sahaba will come by a goat that's dead. And he told the Sahaba who's going to buy this. And the goat is there, and every Sahaba, no, nobody wants this. And everybody just ignored it. And he said, who's going to take this for free? The Sahaba say, no, nobody's going to take this. To Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the dunya is like this. That's how